I never thought I'd be the kind of guy to get blindsided like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been with my wife Emily for about 6 years now. Everything seemed fine, good job, a nice house, a few trips here and there, normal stuff. We had our fights, sure, but nothing that screamed disaster, or so I thought. We decided to go on this family vacation with her brother Jake and his wife Lisa. It was supposed to be a relaxing week at a beach house, a chance to unwind and enjoy some time together. Emily had been acting a bit off lately, shorter temper, snapping at me over small things, but I figured it was just stress. She's a pretty bitchy person when she's annoyed, so I didn't think much of it. Honestly, I even joked with my friends that Emily's mood swings were like a roller coaster, but I loved her, so I dealt with it. From the start, I noticed she was extra flirty with Jake's wife, Lisa. It was subtle at first, little touches, lingering glances. I shrugged it off, convincing myself she was just being friendly or joking around. But in the back of my mind, I felt a prick of unease. Still, I kept telling myself it was just vacation jitters. Maybe she was tired or stressed, or maybe she was just bored. I wasn't paranoid yet. Then things started to get weird. Emily's phone became her new best friend. She'd hide it whenever I looked her way, texting or scrolling endlessly. When I asked who she was chatting with, she'd brush it off, say it was just her sister or a coworker. I didn't press her, yet. I figured everyone's got their secrets, right? Sometimes I'd catch her smiling to herself or giggling at her phone, and I'd ask what was so funny. She'd snap, tell me I was paranoid, or accuse me of snooping. Classic Emily, always quick with an excuse, always ready to turn it around on me. One night I stayed up late, sitting on the deck with a beer, trying to unwind. I noticed Emily sneaking out of the house, heading toward the beach. I thought she was just taking a walk to clear her head, so I let it go. But the next morning I saw her phone lying on the bed, unlocked with a message open. It was from someone called JB. I didn't recognize the initials. The message was basic, but what got me was a line about meeting up that night saying, "Can't wait to see you again, let's make it special." My stomach dropped. This wasn't just innocent flirting, it was something more. I started piecing things together, the little clues that didn't make sense. The late night sneaking, the secretive texts, her mood swings, her quick temper when I tried to ask about her phone. It all pointed to one thing: Emily was cheating on me. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. It was a mix of anger, betrayal, and sadness all rolled into one. I couldn't believe she'd do this, and right behind my back during our supposed family vacation. I wanted to confront her, but I didn't want to do it in a rage. I needed a plan. I needed to know exactly what was going on before I lost my mind. So I kept my cool for the rest of the trip, but inside I was boiling. Every time Emily laughed with Jake or Lisa, I saw it differently now. I saw her sneaking glances at her phone, the way she'd hide her face when I looked her way. When we got home, I started digging. That's when I found the hotel receipts, hotel stays, dinners, receipts that didn't match up with our plans or her explanations. She'd been with him, Jake's best friend, behind my back, probably the entire time we were away. I felt like my world was crumbling. All the trust, all the love, shattered in an instant. I didn't even know who she was anymore. That moment I found the hotel receipts changed everything. I remember holding those slips of paper like they were daggers, feeling my blood boil. There they were: dates, times, hotel names, proof she'd been with him, the guy I once considered a friend before I found out what he'd been doing to me behind my back. It wasn't just a one-night thing, either. It looked like they'd been sneaking around for weeks, maybe even longer. I was furious, but mostly I felt completely humiliated. How could she do this? How could she betray me so blatantly? I'd always prided myself on being a good guy, the kind of guy who'd do anything for his wife. And yet, here she was, out, cheating on me with her brother's best friend. I kept thinking about the nights I'd stayed awake, trying to be patient, trying to fix her bad mood, and all the while she was lying to my face, sneaking around, probably doing God knows what. The worst part, I had no idea how long this had been going on. Was I just some fool who was completely blind to what was happening right under my nose? I didn't sleep that night. I stayed up, staring at the receipts, trying to process what I'd uncovered. I thought about confronting her right then and there, but I knew this wasn't the kind of thing you just blurt out in the heat of anger. I needed a plan. I needed to know exactly what I was dealing with before I said anything. So I sat back and let the storm of emotions build inside me, anger, heartbreak, betrayal, and started thinking about what I was going to do next. The next morning, I found her in the kitchen, pouring coffee. She looked at me with that fake smile of hers like nothing was wrong. I just looked at her, cold and quiet, and finally I could hold it in anymore. I pulled out the hotel receipts and laid them on the table. Her face instantly turned pale. She knew I'd found out. Her eyes widened for a second, then she scoffed and tried to brush it off. "Oh, come on, Mike," she sneered, tossing her hair. "That's just a business trip or whatever. You're overreacting. It's not what you think." I felt my blood boil even more. I looked at her and said, "Really? A hotel receipt isn't just a business trip, Emily. You've been lying to me for weeks, haven't you? Tell me the truth now. Were you with him that night? Were you with Jake's friend?" She rolled her eyes, scoffing again. "Oh, please, you're so paranoid. Just because I went out doesn't mean I cheated. Maybe I needed some space, or maybe I was talking to a friend. You don't know everything, Mike. You're always accusing me of stuff, and honestly, it's getting old." I couldn't believe the nerve of her trying to spin this around. How could she call me paranoid when the evidence was right there? It was as if she thought I was stupid or something. Like I wouldn't see through her lies, but I saw the truth plain and clear. She'd been having sex with him behind my back during our family vacation, and she was lying to my face about it. I felt a mix of rage and sadness. All the times I tried to be patient, all the little moments I overlooked her attitude and her sneaky phone habits, they all came rushing back. I wanted to shake her, tell her she was a damn liar. But instead, I just stood there, staring at her, feeling like I was losing my mind. That was the moment I knew I had to confront her, really confront her. I couldn't keep pretending I didn't know. I had to hear her lie again, or better yet, see her finally admit the truth. I wondered how she'd react. Would she break down? Would she tell me she didn't mean it? Or would she double down and try to convince me she was innocent? Whatever the case, I knew I couldn't keep going like this. Not anymore. Her reaction was exactly what I expected, full of lies and deflections. She looked at me with that smirk she always used when she thought she had the upper hand and said, "Mike, you're crazy. You really think I'd cheat on you? With Jake's best friend of all people? That's just ridiculous. You're overreacting because I'm upset about the trip, and now you're trying to ruin everything over a few receipts. Maybe you're the one with the problem here." I couldn't handle her bullshit anymore. My fists clenched and I felt the anger rising in my chest. I wanted to scream at her, tell her how much she'd hurt me, how much I hated her lying face. Instead, I just stared at her, trying to keep my voice calm but cold as ice. "Emily, I saw the hotel receipts. I know you were with him, I know you're pregnant, and I know it's not mine. How long has this been going on? Are you even telling me the truth now?" She rolled her eyes, crossing her arms. "Pregnant, please. You think I'd cheat on you and then get knocked up by someone else? That's disgusting. Honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about. You're just trying to start a fight like always." That cut deep. I felt like I'd been punched again. But this time it was her words, her denial, that hurt even more. I looked at her, struggling to keep my composure, and said, "Stop lying, Emily. I found the receipts. I know you're pregnant, and I know it's not mine. Who is the father? How long has this been going on?" She took a step back, her face turning red. "You're crazy, Mike. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. I'm pregnant, yes. But that doesn't mean it's not yours. It could be a mistake, a mix-up. Maybe I was with someone else, but I swear it's not who you think." I was stunned. I could hardly breathe. My mind raced. This was bigger than I thought. She was lying about the pregnancy too, or was she just trying to save herself? I felt a sick mix of betrayal and anger, knowing she'd been lying this whole time. I couldn't believe I married someone like her. I remembered everything. The nights she'd been secretive, her phone always in her hand, the sneaky trips out alone. All of it clicked into place. She was cheating on me with her brother's best friend, and now she was trying to cover her tracks by throwing out this pregnancy lie. I knew I had to get to the bottom of it no matter what. I stared at her, my voice trembling slightly with rage. "Emily, I don't believe you. I've seen the receipts, I've seen your phone, I've seen how you act when you think I'm not looking. You're lying, and I want the truth now. Who's the father? Is it him? Or are you just making all this up to save your ass?" Her eyes darted around the room, looking for an escape. She hesitated for a moment, then whispered, "Fine. You want the truth? Yes, I was with him. Yes, I'm pregnant, but I swear it's not about love or anything, just a mistake. You have to believe me, Mike. I never meant for you to find out like this. That was when I felt the final blow, her tears, her broken voice trying to manipulate me. I wanted to believe her, but I knew better. I knew she was lying just like she always had. That was the moment I realized my marriage was over. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. Everything I thought I knew about her was a lie. I was left standing there, feeling completely empty, trying to process the fact that I had been played for a fool. The shock hit me hard, but I kept my composure barely. I looked at her, her eyes full of tears and desperate lies, and I realized I couldn't stay in this. My mind was racing, trying to piece together what I should do next. Part of me wanted to scream at her, to call her a lying bitch and throw her out right then and there. Another part just felt numb, like I was watching my life unravel in front of my eyes. I took a deep breath and told her, "You're not fooling anyone anymore, Emily. I've seen enough. I know you've been screwing around behind my back since before this trip, and I know the pregnancy is probably some lie you cooked up to keep me from leaving. Well, guess what? I've had enough. I want you out of my house. I want nothing to do with you anymore. And I want you to leave the baby's father out of my life for good." Her face twisted into a mixture of anger and despair. "You do get to tell me what to do. I'm not leaving. And the baby," she paused, tears streaming down her face, "the baby is yours, I swear it. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. It was just a stupid mistake. Please just give me a chance to explain." I cut her off coldly. "There's nothing to explain, Emily. I've heard enough. You've lied, cheated, and betrayed me. I trusted you, and you threw that all away. The only thing I want now is for you to leave and never come back. I don't want to see you again, and I sure as hell don't want to be a part of whatever lie you're trying to sell about this baby." She broke down crying, screaming at me, calling me all sorts of names, crazy, jealous, insecure. She begged and pleaded, saying she loved me, that she was sorry, that she'd do anything to fix it. But honestly, I couldn't listen anymore. My stomach was twisted and my head was pounding. I felt like I was in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I told her to pack her stuff and get out. She hesitated, giving me one last look of pure hate and desperation, then stormed out of the house. I watched her leave, feeling hollow. I knew this wasn't just a breakup. It was a complete annihilation of everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, and her. I sat down on the couch, staring at the door she just walked out of, and for the first time in a long while I allowed myself to truly feel everything. The anger, the heartbreak, the betrayal. It was a lot to process. I'd spent years building a life with her, and now it was all gone in an instant. I kept asking myself why. Why did she do this? How long had she been lying to me? Was I just a fool to trust her? The pain was sharp, but beneath it there was a strange clarity. This was the end of that chapter. I knew I had to move on somehow, even if it hurt like hell. In the days that followed, I found myself revisiting everything, every sign, every moment I ignored or dismissed. That's when I realized how much I'd been blind. But even now, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd been played for a fool, and as much as I wanted to hate her, part of me still mourned the loss of what I thought we had. It's crazy how someone you loved can turn into a stranger so quickly. I guess that's what betrayal does to you. After Emily left that day, everything changed. The house felt colder, emptier, like a shell of what it used to be. I spent the first couple of days just staring at the walls, trying to make sense of it all. I kept going over the evidence in my head, her lies, the receipts, the phone messages, and each time the betrayal felt worse. I couldn't help but feel a hot wave of anger that I had been so stupid, so blind. I also couldn't stop thinking about the baby. Part of me wanted to believe she was telling the truth, that maybe it was mine. But deep down, I knew better. The timing didn't add up, and her lying about the pregnancy made it clear she was just trying to manipulate me. I was tormented by the thought that I might be raising a child that wasn't even mine, that she'd been cheating on me with her brother's best friend, and now I was expected to just accept it. I decided I needed to take control of the situation. I contacted a lawyer, started the process of separating, and made it clear I wanted full custody of whatever child was mine. I also reached out to Jake, her brother, and told him everything. I couldn't believe I'd trusted him too, and now I was wondering how much of his friendship was fake. I told him I knew about his buddy and Emily, and I demanded he choose where his loyalty was, because I sure as hell was done with all these lies. The hardest part was facing the reality of my feelings. I was angry, hurt, betrayed, yet part of me still felt a strange sadness. It was like mourning the loss of someone I thought I knew but never really did. I beat myself up for trusting her so blindly, for thinking she loved me. I kept asking myself if I missed signs, if I ignored the warning bells ringing in my head. But the truth is, I didn't want to see it. I was in love, and love makes people blind sometimes. Over the next few weeks, I started rebuilding my life. I threw myself into work, went out with friends, tried to keep busy so I wouldn't drown in my own thoughts. The pain was still there, sharp and persistent, but I was learning to cope. I had to remind myself that I deserved better than someone who would lie and cheat on me, especially with someone so close. That realization, as painful as it was, gave me a strange sense of clarity. One night, I sat down and wrote a long letter to Emily, just to get everything off my chest. I didn't send it, I just needed to put my feelings into words. I called her a bitch, a liar, a manipulator. I told her I never wanted to see her again, that she had destroyed everything we built, and that I hoped she found whatever happiness she was looking for, even if it wasn't with me. I ended it with a simple line: "You lost me forever." That was a turning point. I finally felt like I was taking back some control. I knew I'd be okay eventually, even if it hurt right now. I also knew I'd never forget what she did, and I'd be cautious about trusting anyone that easily again. I learned that love isn't enough when it's one-sided, and that betrayal can come from the people you trust the most. Now I'm just trying to move forward, slowly, painfully, but with a clearer mind. The scars are still there, but I'm learning to live with them. And honestly, I hope she gets what she deserves. Not that I hold any hope for her changing or coming back. She's shown her true colors, and I'm done chasing after someone who never really cared. I guess some lessons are just too expensive to learn any other way. Looking back, I realized that betrayal leaves scars you never expect. It's not just about the pain of finding out your wife cheated on you. It's about the way it shatters your view of everything you thought was real. I used to think I knew her, that I could trust her with my life, my heart. Now, I see that I was just fooling myself. The woman I married was a stranger hiding behind a pretty face and a manipulative smile. The biggest lesson I've learned is that trust, once broken, is almost impossible to fully repair. People can lie convincingly, and sometimes the ones you love the most will turn out to be the ones who hurt you the hardest. I've come to accept that I can't control her actions or her choices. The only thing I can control is how I let her betrayal affect me, and I choose to move on, even if the pain lingers. I've also learned that revenge isn't about getting back at her or hurting her the way she hurt me. It's about reclaiming your life, your dignity, your sense of self. I didn't do anything destructive or petty. Instead, I focused on healing, on rebuilding myself from the ground up. I cut toxic people out of my life, started focusing on my career, and even went to therapy. Slowly, I'm piecing myself back together. Now I see that life is too short to hold on to hate or resentment. I forgive myself for trusting her and for being naive. I forgive her for what she did, though that doesn't mean I forget. It just means I accept that sometimes people are who they are, and all you can do is learn from it. I want anyone reading this to know that betrayal is one of the hardest things to go through, but it's also an opportunity to grow stronger. Don't let anger consume you. Don't stay stuck in the pain. Learn your lessons, pick yourself up, and keep moving forward. Because ultimately, you're the only one responsible for your happiness. And no matter how much someone else tries to ruin that, it's still within your power to rebuild and come out on the other side better than before. I don't hate Emily anymore. I just see her as a chapter in my life that's closed. The scars will heal, and someday I hope to find someone who truly deserves my trust and who won't betray me the way she did. Until then, I focus on myself, on becoming stronger, wiser, and more careful with my heart. Because if there's one thing this whole nightmare has taught me, it's that betrayal can come from anywhere, sometimes even from the people you love most. And when it does, the only way out is to face it head on, learn, and move forward.